Hello, welcome to Baby Child & Co. I hope you are well. Today, we want to talk about sickle cell disease. I'm sure you have heard of it before because sickle cell disease is quite common in our environment. It's common among blacks. So, sickle cell disease simply means that you or your baby, we are talking about your children, so it means that your child has two abnormal hemoglobins, one of which is an S. What this means, our blood has the red part, and then there's the white part, and then the part that is colored slightly yellowish, but it all comes together so the blood looks red. But strictly speaking, there is the red part of the blood, and that is what carries oxygen. So this part of the blood that carries oxygen has something that we call hemoglobin. And the hemoglobin, there are different genotypes or types, to put it simply. So there is the type that is A, the type that is S, the type that is C, there is F, and so on and so forth. People who do not have sickle cell disease have hemoglobin genotype AA, that is 2 A's. But if you have sickle cell disease, you have hemoglobin S and another hemoglobin which is not an A. So it's hemoglobin S and another abnormal hemoglobin. So you could be SS, you could be SC, you could be SF, and a few other things, S something else, and that is also sickle cell disease. That's sickle cell disease. What causes sickle cell disease? It's a disease that we inherit, which means that your child got it from the parents. The parents may not have sickle cell disease. The parents may just be a carrier of sickle cell disease. A carrier means that you have an S hemoglobin and an A hemoglobin. So you are AS. And when two carriers have a child, that child could have sickle cell disease or not. So we inherit it from our parents. That is what sickle cell disease is. Now, what does it do? The blood that is in our body has to pass through tubes that we call blood vessels. So the blood from our heart goes everywhere. It goes to our brain, our feet, our eyes, our kidneys, everywhere. And for the blood to go anywhere in your body, the blood passes through these tubes that we call blood vessels. Some of the tubes are quite small. We have big vessels and small vessels. As the blood is going deeper into a place or an organ, the blood vessels become smaller. So the blood must be able to squeeze through these small blood vessels to get to all parts of the body. And to squeeze through, the blood must have a normal hemoglobin genotype. The A is able to squeeze and pass through very well, but the S is not able to do that. The S, which is sickle cell disease, if you have two S's or SC or S and another abnormal hemoglobin genotype, that is sickle cell disease. It is not able to squeeze and pass through these blood vessels very well. So what happens is that there are parts of your body, if you have sickle cell disease or your child has sickle cell disease, there are parts of your child's body that at certain points in time, depending on what is happening to the child, may not get enough blood going there, and that means that it's not getting enough oxygen, and every part of our body needs oxygen all the time. So that leads to what we call the sickle cell crisis. So sickle cell crisis, like I've explained, just means that the child is not getting enough blood going to every part of the body, which means that enough oxygen, because the blood carries oxygen, enough oxygen is not going to all parts of the body. That's a sickle cell crisis. Some of the sickle cell crisis may just be that more of the blood is breaking down. That leads to jaundice. And you see that the child's eyes are yellow, and you see that the child's urine becomes dark, like Coca-Cola or like malt. You may also see that parts of the body are paining the child. It's also because the blood is not going there, so they have painful crises. Or you can see that some parts of the body, typically when they are very young, their feet and their hands get swollen. We call that a hand and foot syndrome. They get swollen. And then sickle cell disease also makes the child fall sick very quickly, because we need blood to go to all parts of our body so that we can fight infection. And the blood, the parts of the blood that fights infection, the white cells, are not going there, so the child can fall sick very quickly. Or there's something that is in our abdomen, we call it the spleen. That is where the soldiers of the body are manufactured. In sickle cell disease, they also tend to have their spleen not functioning properly. And so these are some of the crises that sickle cell disease patients can have, but it is not all gloomy. So in the next video, I'm going to explain to you how you can keep your child with sickle cell disease healthy, because we want your child to be healthy. If you have any questions or comments, we are happy to take them. If you like the video, share it as well, and subscribe by hitting the bell button, so that whenever we upload a video, you will get to know. Thank you for watching. Bye bye for now.